Good morning and welcome to this week Small Business Town Hall. My name is Sabina Matos. I'm the Lieutenant Governor, and I'm so glad that you're joining us today for this conversation about what resources the state of Rhode Island has available for the small business community. I appreciate you turning in and also typing in your questions in the chat. Remember that we want to hear from you. We want to know how we can make the business climate better here in the state of Rhode Island, and we cannot do that without you. Today, we have an exciting day filled with good information, and we're going to hear from the departments. We're going to hear today from the Department of Labor and Training, and then after, we're going to hear from the mayor of the city of Central Falls, Mayor Maria Rivera. So we're going to hear about what is happening in Central Falls when it comes to a small business. So stay tuned if you have a business in CF or you're planning on opening a business in Central Falls. But I just want to send my best wishes to Chris Barisi. He's under the weather today. He's not going to join us because of that. Chris, I hope you feel better soon. Looking forward to seeing you the next time. And also the directors that are not joining us today because they had other commitments and some of them are traveling. But we have great information from one of our favorite department, right? Department of Labor and Training. And right now we have a treat because we have Nora Crowley joining us today instead of the director. Nora, thank you so much for being here. Tell us how things are going at DLT.
Yeah, thank you, Governor. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me sit in for Matt. For those that tune in regularly, you know our director, Matt Weldon. Today, the only reason he would ever miss this town hall is because he's literally right now meeting with the Senate president and staff to be interviewed to hopefully eventually be reappointed to his role as director at DLT. So that seems like the only reasonable excuse for not being here today. So I'm afraid you're stuck with me. My name's Nora Crowley. I'm the relatively new deputy director here at DLT. But I started in the role about 2.5 months ago, but previously served as our director of the Governor's Workforce Board, which is housed here at DLT. I thought, Governor, if you're comfortable with this, I would start with some of the GWB programs that are available to business owners and that I think are particularly helpful to small businesses. And the GWB website for anyone that wants to check it out after is gwb.ri.gov. All of the programs I'm about to talk about are posted there. Information is available there. So I encourage everyone to check it out.
This is great. This is a treat for us today. We're going to learn more about the Governor's Workforce Board. So
this
thank
is
you
a
so
passion
much.
area for me. And obviously, everyone's welcome to reach out. Or if you work through the Lieutenant Governor's office, please feel free to connect with me directly for additional information. But a couple of the programs I thought I'd flag quickly. One is our work immersion program, which depending on kind of the size of the company and the new hires that you bring on board can reimburse a company for wages for new hires they make. We're particularly interested in having companies consider hiring young adults and college students, folks who are underemployed or recently unemployed, and to sort of alleviate some of the risk of bringing someone new onto your staff. We'll reimburse you for 50% up to 75% of their wages for a period of time. So really wanted to call that out if you're thinking about adding some staff, but figuring out whether that person will work. It's an opportunity to give someone an important work experience while also reimbursing you for some of those wages in the early months that they're on your team. So definitely encourage everyone to consider the work immersion program.
Nora, is there a requirement for the company if it's, let's say, I'm an accountant, I have been working by myself, and I want to add an employee. Would I be able to qualify for that?
Yes, you should be able to qualify for that. The most kind of rigid of the requirements are that you have to ultimately register as a vendor with the state of Rhode Island so that we can actually cut you the check for the reimbursement.
Got it.
The person does need to be a new hire, so this wouldn't be a program to offset wages for somebody that's already been on board. There's a bit of a grace period. If you hired them within the last 30 days or so, we typically would count them as a new hire. But generally, it's pretty flexible. It's meant to help small businesses in particular expand their workforce while giving some folks who are currently not connected to the labor market a chance at making a good first impression and gaining some essential work skills. Could be used to pay interns if you want to rely on short-term interns during tax season, for instance. That would be a great program to take advantage of, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
The other one I wanted to flag is our incumbent worker training program. Similarly, really perfect for small businesses that want to, rather than new hires, this is focused on people that are already on your staff. Even if it's a small group of people, if they need additional training to stay competitive, to help your company remain competitive, we can help cover the cost of the training that you want to provide to them. And so, everyone's thinking about employee retention. One of the critical opportunities to retain folks is to offer them new skills to help them stay competitive, which should hopefully also help your business stay competitive. The Incumbent Worker Training Grant Program is a great resource that I don't think a lot of businesses know about. It's why I wanted to highlight those two programs in particular, because the money is available. It's set aside directly for that. It is often a reimbursement-based model, so we would need to talk through the kind of logistics of whether there's the cash on hand to pay for the costs, but we'll move a quick reimbursement to make it more feasible for companies. And I think those are great resources that sometimes go underutilized because folks don't necessarily know that the Governor's Workforce Board is available.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really great program. And right there, my mind is just racing with questions. So can that program be used for trainings in technology? If I have a small business that maybe has a challenge with the finances, I want to train several employees on QuickBooks, or maybe wants to train their staff with Excel. Would that cover?
Absolutely. I think those are actually perfect examples. If we're seeing a lot of companies actually that want to introduce new technology to find efficiencies in their work, particularly if have a small staff. And so if you identify the training that's going to work best on the schedule that's going to work best for your company, these funds could be used for that. Really, what's the Governor's Workforce Board primary value is that it tries not to dictate for the employer what it should provide to its staff. And so if you think it's the right training and we can figure out the resourcing for it, that's what they're there for. So that's a great example, Governor, and there's endless other options really defined by the employer themselves.
What about the vendors? Can the company pick their own vendors, or do you provide a list of vendors?
We can offer support if someone's not sure how to find a vendor, because we've interacted with a lot of companies that have sought a variety of training options. But ultimately, if you've got the vendor in mind that is going to work best and has the right content, can deliver it virtually or in person, then that's totally available to the employer's discretion. The other thing I would add is that under the right circumstances, if you actually want to use an internal staff member to be the trainer, we can help offset. There are parameters here to ensure we're using ultimately taxpayer dollars wisely and carefully, but we can also potentially reimburse the company for those costs of the time of, if you find a manager that's really excellent and you want to have them train other managers, we could potentially also reimburse for those costs of an in-house trainer.
Great. Oh, that's a wonderful program. So Ben is adding that information to the bottom of the images right now. Great. And also we're adding that to the comment section of the video to make sure that that information stays with the comment section, and you can just click right there and it's going to take you right to the website.
And there's a variety of other programs on the GWB website, so I strongly encourage everyone to check it out. Again, if you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. My email is nora.crowley@dlt.ri.gov. We can connect you to the right staff member in the agency to help navigate those programs. If it's okay, Governor, I'll shift gears a little bit. I heard through the grapevine that you have a particular interest in our WorkShare program.
I love that program.
So I figured I would bring the latest on WorkShare and explain it also. The WorkShare program, shifting gears a little bit away from the training opportunities. WorkShare is a program we want everyone to know is available. It's actually a kind of offshoot of our unemployment insurance division for companies that experience either kind of an unexpected or perhaps cyclical, it happens every year at the same time, slowdown in workload or productivity. Instead of needing to lay off staff and potentially not being able to rehire them, the WorkShare program would allow an employer to connect their staff to an unemployment claim. And so you could reduce people's hours based on the workload and kind of production that you're seeing at the moment for a period of time. and an unemployment claim would be opened for them to help offset kind of the loss of hours. And so the unemployment claim and benefits plus their reduced hours at your company would get them more or less close to their full normal wages, but unemployment would be carrying some of that burden for paying those workers. Helps keep them attached to your company. So instead of laying them off and then they go find a job somewhere else, you can take them off, to reduced hours for a period of time to get through that slowdown and then bring them back once kind of your work picks up again. It's a great program. Right now we have 47 companies that are participating in the WorkShare program. We wanted to flag, Governor, that pre-pandemic, in any given year, roughly 6 to 12 companies would participate in WorkShare. At the peak of the pandemic, we really encouraged people to take advantage of this. We had upwards of 200 companies participating in it. It's leveling off now. We're seeing in the last few weeks, it's been around 40 to 45 or so. Again, this week we're at 47 companies participating. But please feel free to avail yourself of that program. Or if you have and you have feedback for us, we welcome that too. On the WorkShare website's posted. You can also email us at dlt.workshare@dlt.ri.gov for feedback or questions. We'll make sure that you're in touch with the right staff member.
Thank you so much, Nora. I do love that program. And the director knows I always ask, so how's the WorkShare going? I just think that is so important because sometimes things are slowed down after you invested so much in training your workforce, you don't want to lose them. So this is a way how you can stay connected with them to make sure that they come back once your business is picking up again. So that's why I love the program.
Such a great program. Definitely recommend folks take a look at it, especially if you have those planned slowdowns or see them coming and can connect your staff to our office. We can make it pretty seamless and painless for everybody. And so really encourage everyone to consider it. If we have the time, I have two other quick updates.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. The other two things I wanted to flag is that I think Matt has mentioned this before, but I wanted to say it out loud again, that right now our Governor's Workforce Board is offering, it's open and available right now, a workplace accessibility grant. This is for small businesses, 25 or fewer employees rather, and grants up to $5,000 to help make the physical facility a more accessible site. So if your company wants to add a wheelchair ramp to help employees access the work floor or to access the office, that would be an example of something that we can cover the cost of. If there are other hard costs, tangible costs to making your place of business more accessible to your employees, that's what this grant is made for. We've had 2 companies apply so far. We have $100,000 to ultimately give out. So there's lots of room to apply for these grants still, and really would encourage, if anyone's thinking about making some upgrades to make your place of business more accessible, this is an opportunity where we may be able to help offset those hard costs that otherwise are prohibiting folks from making those upgrades.
And this is such a great program because as you make the change for your employees, right, you're also making the change for your customer. So if you are adding a ramp to make sure that your employees are able to come in and work, you're going to benefit also by having the accessibility for your customers. If you're going to make a change, make your bathroom accessible, right, for your employees, at the same time, to make it accessible for your customers. So you should be applying for this program.
Yeah, it's a great one. I think word is getting out slowly, but wanted to make sure we reiterated it because it's open and available now. It's a very simple application. So really encourage everyone to take full advantage if that's something that you're looking to do in your own place of business. The last quick update is, I think Matt has also mentioned this before, really under your leadership, Governor, and the Governor's leadership, DLT has kind of renewed our commitment to reaching communities that have historically been marginalized in the labor market and otherwise, and opening up our services to be as accessible as possible. Matt opened our Office of Community Engagement. For the first time, the agency has an Office of Community Engagement whose real mission is to ensure our outreach is appropriately reaching communities in our state and that everybody has access to the resources we have here. recently they closed an RFP. So this is just an update and an FYI. Received some grant funding to engage community-based organizations that serve specific populations. For instance, individuals with disabilities or the recent refugee population, veterans, the BIPOC community, folks with limited English proficiency, who are English language learners. Our hope is to engage community organizations that bring that expertise and real grassroots touch to advise us on how the agency can be more accessible and inclusive. That RFP just closed. We're in the process of evaluating all of the applications, but we're really excited to get that work going. It's long overdue. And I think what we'll see is that some hopefully authentic feedback will make DLT a more responsive and inclusive agency. So we're excited about that work ahead. And if you are an employer that has thought about working with specific populations, again, individuals with disabilities, or if you know that you need to tap into a workforce that otherwise has gone kind of marginalized in our labor market, again, our recent immigrant community and the refugee community, we're really thinking intentionally about that and would love to have you get in touch with us to express your interest. We'll make sure we can connect you to folks in our agency that can help you reach out to those populations for new talent that are otherwise untapped in our labor market.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a great program. So glad that you guys are taking the leadership.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Yeah, this is great. I just want to take a quick check with Ben. Ben, do you have any comments or questions for Nora?
No, we're all set. Thank you so much, Nora.
Thank you, Nora. I know that Chad has been busy making sure that we add all of those. We're adding all of those links so people to know where to go.
Great.
So thank you so much. This was great. Great information, Nora. Great seeing you.
Take care. Good to see you too.
Thank you. So before we transition to Mayor Rivera, I just want to remind everyone that the Main Street Rhode Island Streetscape Improvement Funds will award grants for projects that are going to revitalize the downtown business district in your area. So we're going to be adding that also to the chat. You're going to see a link to that information. It's at the Commerce website, but we're going to make sure that you get the link to that application also. Now, with that, I would like to bring Mayor Maria Rivera, Alcaldesa.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Qué gusto de tenerla usted acá.
Muchas gracias.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. And happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Celebrating your birthday yesterday.
Thanks. It was fun, a fun event. Really enjoy seeing everybody.
Great.
So, Mayor, tell us what's happening in economic development in Central Falls. If anyone is looking about, okay, I'm thinking about opening a business, why they should come to CF?
Oh, Central Falls is in a unique place right now, especially with the train station. So there's many great things happening here. You know that when our businesses thrive, our communities thrive, right? That's the focus of our communities. Without our businesses, our communities cannot succeed. So it's really important for me to make sure that I work with our businesses and try to attract more businesses into Central Falls. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of empty storefronts here in the city, which is great. There's a lot of people that are looking into Central Falls. We can keep apartments for rent. We can keep homes for sale, which is great. But we also have to think about gentrification, which is the focus. But I have to tell you that with the businesses, what we've done here with this pandemic, because of the pandemic and how hard it has impacted our businesses, I ended up hiring a workforce development coordinator and a small business coordinator to be that one person to have that one-on-one relationship with our business owners so that we can help them through the process of applications for grants or for loans, because our businesses were already struggling. Some of these processes for these applications were very time consuming. They had to take time to complete the application. There was a language barrier. They didn't speak the language. They didn't know how to use a computer. So it was really important for me to hire this person so that this person can contact these businesses one-on-one and make sure that they were going through the process with them, because if they weren't eligible for the application, we wanted to make sure that they weren't wasting their time.
Understood.
Depending on the employees you have or the amount that is the requirement of income that you make for the business. So just having this person, bilingual person, working one-on-one with the business owners has been
Yeah.
great for the community of Central Falls. We've updated the database here. So when there's opportunities with DLT or the different grant applications, that we make sure that we do the outreach to all of the businesses so that
Great.
all of the businesses get the information.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I have a great partnership here with our businesses. It's been so great that the businesses have been reaching out to us and trying to figure out how they could work closer with the city. I have a business who's celebrating 30 years this year. Maybe we can go visit them.
Oh, I'd love to.
And they committed to giving $30,000 back to the community.
Oh,
So
wow.
every month we're picking a nonprofit in the city of Central Falls, and they're giving them a check for $2,500.
Wow, that's amazing.
You have
That's
effective
great.
relationships. You have to, work with your businesses so that they know that they're appreciated in this community, that we appreciate the support that they give to the community so that they can continue working here. I have another business owner who called me yesterday, Julio Calderon. You know him.
Yes, Juliana.
He's like, Mayor, we know that the cost of food is very expensive. We want you to pick a family every month, and we're going to do the food shop.
Oh, wow.
So
That is
these are the things that
great.
we have
Thank
to
you,
continue.
Julio. Yeah.
Thank you. And then to continue supporting the businesses, we have a lot of opportunities here in Central Falls. Every time we have an event, instead of reaching out to businesses outside of the city, we contact the businesses in the city and say, do you want to take part? And have them take part so that we can showcase them and promote them.
Oh, that is great.
help
That's
them
wonderful. Yeah. And Mayor, you said you hire someone to help with the application, a small business advocacy person. This person speaks other languages, correct?
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Bilingual.
Thank you so much, bilingual.
That was the purpose.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for making sure that we. Ben, can you bring the mayor back on? Sorry. Thank you for making sure that our communities have access. That's the challenge that we always have to make sure that our communities have access to the information.
Yeah.
Central Falls is buzzing. So many good things are happening in the city. I want to thank you for your leadership and everything that you're doing to move Central Falls forward. I enjoy coming to the city, and I'm always eating. I love to eat. I'm always coming to the restaurant. I think it's one of the greatest things that I love about Rhode Island is the diversity on the culinary scene that we have. So I enjoy coming to the city and enjoying all the wonderful restaurants. But how's the restaurants going? If someone wants to start a restaurant, who's the person that they first gonna go to in CF?
Clerk. They have to come to the clerk's office.
The clerk's office, okay.
They have to come to the clerk's office. Obviously, they have to go to the Department of Health, get their tax certificate, come here and go through the process, which we have streamlined the process so that they don't have to go from office to office trying to figure out everything that they have to do. Because, they have to come into City Hall, they have to see the clerk, then they have to go into Public Works because they need to have someone inspection their property, make sure that the fire department, the police department. So we're working on streamlining that whole process so they don't have to go to 3 or 4 different offices when they submit an application to open up a business.
Great. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
And plus giving them the opportunity to make sure that they're speaking with someone that speaks their language.
Yes,
really
definitely.
important.
So, Mary, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I love the programs that DLT provides. And the Work Share program, I love that program. Every time I go and visit a small business, I let them know about that program. So I hope people in your community learn about it and also use the program because it's helping keep that connection with their employees.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great opportunity. Even the Workforce Accessibility Grant.
Yes.
These are opportunities for our businesses that are so important. So the person who's working in this position, that's their responsibility to make those connections and making sure that the businesses here in Central Falls know that they have the opportunity to apply for these opportunities that are out there, whether it's with DLT or the Office of Commerce.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you for your leadership and for being here today. I'm so glad that we were able to spend Valentine's Day together.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and for what you're doing in the city of Central Falls. I love
Thank
having
you
this.
for
Take care.
what you're doing. Thank you.
Well, as you heard, there's a lot of good things happening in Central Falls, good programs from the Governor's Workforce Board. You have to make sure that you check those resources available. Thank you again for joining us today in this special Valentine's Day edition of our Town Hall conversation. And we're going to again wish Chris Parisi a speedy recovery. Hope to see you the next time here with us. To all of you out there, happy Valentine's Day. Be nice and be kind to one another. Take care.